Marco Forgione is the Director General of the Chartered Institute of Export and International Trade, joining us now. Hi, Marco. Do you have a handle on what impact these tariffs are going to have, a big picture, if you will?
What we're seeing is a full-spectrum pressure being applied to very deliberately unpick the global multilateral system. Now, there are nations and blocs, the UK and the EU particularly, who've secured arrangements and deals with the US, so they're probably feeling pretty confident now that they've got an advantageous relationship with the US. But for all the other nations, it's clear that this full spectrum pressure is being applied to drive them to the table, to secure the deals that President Trump wants done, to rebalance trade as he sees it between the US and those nations. But more importantly, to exert monumental geopolitical pressure to force a much bigger impact beyond trade, which is to drive investment into the US. And we're already seeing that having an impact.
Do you think this is the beginning of the end of multilateralism?
I think very much that is gone, and the evidence of that was particularly evident last week when the EU did their deal with the US. I think that the world that existed, 18 months ago has gone. We are in a new era now, not just of global trade, but actually of the multilateral system, the way in which the world operates at a geopolitical level has all been changed because of what President Trump has brought to bear, both with politics and the economy. And you can see nations now trying to jostle, to try and understand what the future looks like, and at the same time secure a better arrangement with the US.
Donald Trump says the US is going to rake in billions of dollars on tariffs. Is he right?
Well, the estimates are that by the end of this year, the tariffs will have generated somewhere in the region of $200 billion for the US. But you have to bear in mind, it's not just about the revenue that's being generated by the tariffs. It's the impact of the force to encourage businesses to invest in the US. And we've seen a lot of announcements over the last 4 months of major multinational businesses all committing to invest into the US, the EU making a commitment that it will itself invest into the US and committing to buy both defense and energy from the US. So this America First program is having an impact. In addition to the tariff announcements last night, President Trump wrote to 17 of the largest pharma companies, multinational pharma companies, to exert real pressure on them around the price of medicines in the US. And already we're hearing that companies like AstraZeneca are looking at possibly listing in the US and possibly moving their manufacturing to the US. So we can see the force that's being exerted is having an impact.
Prices, though, in the United States, we're seeing data out. Furniture is up for the first time in 3 years. Is the American consumer going to be affected negatively?
Well, Jerome Powell, in his announcements this week, was clear that the impact of the tariffs is inflationary in the US. So we are seeing that inflationary pressure, and President Trump, despite exerting again a determination to get the Fed to cut interest rates in the US, the Fed has made a decision to hold them because of that inflationary pressure. We're going through a period now of really quite intense uncertainty and instability. President Trump clearly believes that the route that he's set upon will have a medium-term and long-term benefit, both with rehoming manufacturing, growing jobs, in growing salaries and wages in the US. But, it's not guaranteed that that's going to be the impact. For the rest of the world, the instability and the uncertainty is definitely having inflationary pressures and causing trade diversions, which are impacting production, domestic production in places like the UK and the EU, which may in turn have to take retaliatory action just to protect their domestic markets.
Always great to hear your insights. Thank you so much, Marco Forgione, Director General of the Chartered Institute of Export and International Trade.